Hey guys, Chris from Provo Beast Audio Installation, and in today's video we're going to be unboxing and demoing this super budget friendly Apple CarPlay and Android Auto radio sent over from AHOUDY car stereo. Now in this video we're going to get this thing all pulled apart, show you everything that it comes with, and we're going to get it hooked up to some power so you can see how it performs. Let's get started. Now, as we dive into things, again, like I said, you can purchase one of these on Amazon. We'll link this radio down in the description for you. But in times of high inflated prices for electronics, especially car stereos at this time because of COVID, this may be a great solution for you to save a couple of bucks and still introduce Apple CarPlay and Android Auto into your vehicle. Now, at this point, let's go ahead and get this pulled apart. Now, it looks like the first thing we get is, I guess you can consider this a free backup camera. It looks like we have some sort of user manual. Next here, it looks like it comes with just a universal trim ring. Here's our main wiring harness adapters. On the sides here, it looks like we have our universal brackets. Most instances, you probably won't use these unless you're doing a custom install. More than likely with the trim and side brackets, you won't use them, as you'll use instead a dash kit, depending on the vehicle that you'll be installing this to. Looks like it has some mounting hardware. Here we are. It's upside down, but here we go. Alright, so we got everything pulled apart here. Obviously our accessories are down here, but let's take a closer look first at the radio at the front and the back to see all our connections. Now, looking closer at the radio itself, the faceplate actually doesn't have any hard buttons. These will illuminate, and basically they're just touch sensitive. And then it looks like we have an aux and USB. Here on the lower side here, there isn't a USB on the back of the unit, so CarPlay and Android Auto will have to be operated through this front USB port. Now, just above that, we have a reset button, that small pinhole there, and right above that is the protrusion there for a built-in faceplate microphone. Doesn't come with an external mic whatsoever, so you would have to rely on that one included. Now, looking at the profile here, it is certainly a shallow mount type radio because it doesn't have any sort of CD or DVD player, so it allows the manufacturer to shrink the size of the actual double din itself. It's still standard double din 4-inch tall. And here we are at the back side. Now, the chassis here is aluminum. It has these aluminum cooling fins here across the back. Now, starting on the right hand side, I would assume they probably use this chassis design for many different models, because it does indicate GPS, but no antenna was included, nor is there any actual port there. It's just a hole. So I would assume that it's probably meant for another radio within their lineup that has onboard GPS, which this one does not. Now, next to that, we have our standard size Motorola AM/FM antenna input, and then we have our RCA connections. The white and red are the RCA preamp outputs for external amplifiers. Now, we have 4 sets of video inputs and outputs. We have video out 1 and video out 2. Then we have a video input of a sort. It could be for a front camera, and then we have a dedicated rear camera input there on the bottom right hand corner. And then finally on the left hand side, we have our main harness connections and a 15 amp fuse. Now, next here, let's go ahead and take a quick look at accessories. Again, universal brackets. Now, here's your main harness inputs here. Essentially, you have a power harness and your speaker harness. Again, it has a user manual here. We took a quick look at this user manual. Essentially shows you how to get everything connected, walks you through how to install the camera itself here. Then finally, it looks like we have our backup camera here. Looks like it comes with your main video harness here, and it has a little extra red lead off that runs in parallel with your video wire, which can be used either to power the camera or your trigger wire, just depending on your install application. And it has the camera bag itself. Now, looking here, this type of camera has LEDs all the way around, and your camera there in the middle. It's a universal mount. It's not a license plate mount, but if you want to mount this to a license plate area, we can link the bracket adapter in the description of the video in case you want to convert this to a license plate stud mountable camera. Now, that's it. That's everything that we have included within this kit itself. Big thing is, though, I'm sure you just want to see it in action. So what we're going to do is get this hooked up to our test bench, get this thing booted up, and see how it functions. All right, so let's go ahead and simulate like we're turning on the ignition within the vehicle to get the radio to boot on up. All right, booting this up here for the first time. It actually shows the Amazon store where this is sold. Now it looks like it boots up and defaults directly to the radio. But let's go to the home screen. And this looks like our sources here. And then CarPlay, we have A-Link, which I assume is going to be either Mirror Link or probably Android Auto connection there. We got our AV input, our aux input, and then our main system settings. It has an SD card logo there, but there is no SD card slot on this unit. We got a USB button there, but there's no USB at the time connected to this. Looks like we have a quick shortcut to our built-in Bluetooth. We have our setting screen, and it looks like we have our main settings, our clock calendar settings, font, background settings, and is this our EQ? Yep. Our basic EQ settings. Probably the biggest question that we have here is, well, how does CarPlay work? Well, let's go ahead, get this thing set up. All right, so we got an iPhone connected here via USB. Let's go ahead and unlock our iPhone. Oh, okay, there it goes. Loading. Oh, there we go. Okay. There is our phone. Let's see if it boots up a little bit quicker the second time. Plug it on in. Loading. Okay. Well, it looks like that's how it boots up. But it should function as normally, like most CarPlay units. The touch it's not too bad for responsiveness. It does have CarPlay. It's built-in CarPlay. Now, one thing with CarPlay, you don't actually have to download any apps. It's built-in software within the phone and supporting software of the radio. So essentially, all you have to do is literally just plug it on in. Now, Android Auto is a little bit different. Android does require you to download from the Play Store the Android Auto app. So make sure you have that downloaded before you start trying to boot anything up for Android. All right, so playing around with this certainly has the track forward and track back, but after it's been booted up, it looks like track forward, looking at our volume here, is volume down, and then track back happens to be volume up. So again, we see this a lot of the time with these branded radios, but that is indeed your volume and not track up or track down. All right, so we do have our camera hooked up here. Now we have it on accessory power. We suggest only hooking it up to the power ground of your reverse light, so it's only on when backing up. Now let's go ahead and trigger the radio to go into reverse. All right, there we are. There is the reverse image. Now this is going to be mounted just like so. There's our bug. Now we did a little bit more research on the phone link, and it says if you have an iPhone 10 or newer, the phone link function or the mirror link function doesn't work for iPhone. More than likely it's not the phone version, it's probably the software version. So we have we're using a newer phone than an iPhone 10, so unfortunately for us that feature won't work. It looks like if your phone is running Android version 10.1 or above, the mirror link function won't work for this as well. So at this point of time, there you go. There is our unboxing of this AHOUDY car stereo that was sent our direction from this company from Amazon. If you want one of these or want to pick one up yourself, we'll link that radio or this radio down in the description of the video. If you want to see other budget-friendly radio unboxings, we've been starting to do a couple of these. We'll also link those videos in the description as well. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to hit the like button if you like what you saw, and don't forget to subscribe. We post great content on the channel all the time, and we'll see you in the next video.